probably our depth and just talent overall. When you look at all across the board, we're pretty deep. A lot of playmakers. And so, when you get the ball to those guys in space and you can stretch the ball vertically and horizontally, then you can really be explosive. But that match with the tempo and our ability to protect right now is really good. I mean, Dwayne and Tate back there, they got a lot of time. They can set their feet, and so the rhythm has been good.
And what about TCU's defense presents some of those problems as you've watched them on film so far?
Yeah, Coach Patterson's done a great job. I mean, they have all the answers. Anytime a defense has been together that long, they've seen so many different things come their way. So they have adjustments. They make quick adjustments. They know exactly how you're trying to attack them. So very, very talented group as well. A lot of veteran guys back there. And so they've been together such a long time that you're not going to get anything free. You have to earn everything that you get.
Over to the right, Clay.
How much input has Coach Meyer had on that, on what to expect from a Gary Patterson defense?
Yeah, like I said last week, everything's, in terms of week-to-week stuff with Coach, we've been game planning all together, so he's had a huge amount of input.
Over to the left, front row left, Bill.
Ryan, how do you guys evolve the play action game with Wade at quarterback? We know he can move, but just rely a little more on things the running backs that don't understand. Just how effective do you guys been so far?
Yeah, I think the combination of having a great offensive line and then, JK and Mike, you have to account for them. And so once you do that, if you can tie in the runs to make them look exactly like the runs, then they have to get somebody else into the front, whether it's a safety or another, seventh defender. And then at that point, whether it's with an RPO or a play action pass, we want to take advantage of that. And so, you saw John, you see Terry down the field, in one-on-one situations with cornerbacks, and then it's just a matter of making the throw and catch. And so it all starts with running the football. And if we can force that seventh guy in the box, then that opens up stuff in the pass game.
And you had mentioned a couple weeks ago that when special teams meetings are happening, the running backs are all with you guys in the quarterbacks are. I'm just wondering, in the times that happened, maybe what you learned about JK, maybe from a more personal side, aside from obviously
JK, great personality, very, very competitive, wants it really, really bad. But has a fun way about him, kind of a happy-go-lucky guy, always has a smile on his face, a lot of energy. He's a very likable kid, but he works really, really hard. He's got that edge to him. So he's fun. He's always got something to say in meetings and, outgoing personality. But I think that, they're pushing each other, too, in that room, between Mike and JK. So the competition is really good, but they also pull for each other.
Far left, Lord.
Coach, regardless of what's going on this year, whether urban suspension, things have seemed to go rather smoothly. What do you attribute that to?
Culture of our team. Said from the beginning that this team has been trained for this this type of adversity. We talk about winning the moment. We talk about E+R=O. I've talked about that before, and so the training that's happened over the last year, and obviously what Coach has done here for the 6 years leading up to this, there's been a foundation set here. And so, when you go through something tough, if you have a good, strong foundation, then you can make it through the other side, and that's what's happened.
So things are going well without Urban because of Urban?
So again, like I said, the culture that Coach has set here
Right.
with all these guys, it's amazing. I mean, the locker room and the character, not just with the players, but their families, sticking together, our recruits, the whole thing. And so because of that, we've been able to come through the back end of this thing, and still got a long season to go. But going through that stuff, like we said, makes us stronger as well. But the leadership right here, the coaching staff, we've all stuck together. And but there's no way you can get through that without a strong foundation to start with.
Just real quick, how much authority does Dwayne have to alter plays and whatnot at this point? I mean, he's still young as a quarterback.
Yeah, but he knows. I mean, whether it's in the run game, he has the ability to make a check, or in the pass game, he can change the protection and slide it one way or the other. So he's got a good handle on that. Sometimes when we're playing fast, he's got to make a decision where the ball goes. Sometimes it's to the running back. Sometimes he has to run it. Sometimes it gets thrown to the receivers. So whether it's before the snap or after the snap, he has to make decisions.
Third row left, Dan.
Ryan, do you worry at all with as well as Dwayne and this offense has performed in these first 2 games of them getting too confident going into a game like this?
Well, I think that when the games get tighter, every play matters even more. And so the mistakes are still there. We talked about that in the meeting yesterday. The mistakes are still there. You know, we can't, like for instance, you know, the interception in the red zone 2 games ago, or you know, a play for false starting, or you know, a sack on 3rd down. Those plays in a big game are going to show up even more. So they're still there, and we have to correct them. And that's a sign of a mature group. Is, you know, you can win a big game, kind of like we had the last 2 games, but then come to work and be critical of yourself and take the coaching so that we make the corrections to keep building.
And obviously, just Dwayne's your starter, but as well as Tate performed the other day, does that make you more inclined to want to get him involved in the offense in some way, even as you get into closer games?
I think Tate showed what he can do, but we've seen that through camp and through practice. So nothing he did surprised us. I mean, you know, he's done a great job running. He's done a great job passing. So his skill set is excellent for you know attacking the defense. They have to account for him, you know, with his feet and then with his arm. And so you know, like we said before, we plan to play Tate. How much kind of depends on the game moving forward, but it was great to see him go out there and have some success and see him run around and have some energy.
4th row left, Andrew.
Coach, you always hear it talked about in spread offense. It's important to stretch the defense vertically. Do you feel that vertical component is here more so this year than years past? And if so, who are your main deep threats?
I mean, I think that our main deep threats are, you know, Johnny and Terry. You know, Austin and Ben also have the ability to go deep. Some of the younger guys as well. We've also taken shots from the inside as well, you know, with Parrish down the field and sometimes KJ. So any of those guys can be threats down the field. And, you know, it just kind of depends sometimes on what the defense has given us, you know, and they decided to kind of put the safeties down a little bit lower early in the game, and so that opened up the middle of the field, and so we connected on it. But there's so much that goes into that. You got to be able to run the ball, you got to be able to protect, you got to be able to do those things to open up something like that. Otherwise, they'll just put the safety in the middle of the field, and it doesn't open up anything down there. So when those opportunities present themselves, we've got to capitalize. And when you do, you look much more explosive, you know, and so then we get the effect of now they have to back up a little bit and the other knee stuff opens up. So that's kind of how the game works.
2nd row left, Ari.
Ryan, after the opener, Urban comes in and says, what, can we have a ton of points? What was his feedback this time?
No, it was kind of, we just talked about how, you know, we've got to make corrections and we've got to be critical of ourselves moving forward so that, you know, in a game like this, some of the mistakes that are being made don't catch up to you. When you think they're okay, they're not. We've got to get those things fixed. And so, you know, like I said, game week as usual, went through the film, made the corrections, and now we're on to TCU.
Now that you're 2 games into this, and has 1 more left, I was curious, you've spoken a lot about how the game plan and what happens on Saturday is done between Monday and Friday during preparation. I was wondering, with his first full week back, how did it go on Saturday in terms of staying within, you know, what you guys prepared for, and how does that change going into a game where there's a chance you guys can actually lose with the opponent?
Yeah, I think that so much of the work that happens on Saturday is done during the week, like I said. You know, we all sit in the meeting, like even today, sitting in the meeting room. Everybody has input into what we're calling. And then if it makes it on the call sheet, then it's good enough to call. And we all have to be behind that and understand that. Now we have to make adjustments in game and figure out what the defense is doing and what plays give us the best opportunity. But yeah, the input is strong for everybody in the offensive staff, including coach. And then again, if it makes it on the call sheet, it's good enough to call. If it isn't, then we just take it off and we don't call it that week.
No disrespect to your previous 2 opponents, but this is a big game, something that Ohio State fans have been waiting for a long time, to be closer, neutral environment again. How is that different for you? Is this more nerve-wracking, you know, just kind of being there along with Urban, and just how do you anticipate handling this challenge, the biggest challenge you face?
Well, I think that when you play in big games, obviously you have to take care of the football. You have to run the football. You have to play good defense. You have to really follow the plan to win even more because every play is so much more important. In terms of preparing for it, though, we're going to be who we are. We're going to do what we are. I think when you start to stray and start to focus on other things like it being a big game, that's when you get distracted. And we got to focus on us. And if we play the way that we know we can play, then that's going to give us the best chance to win. If we start to overthink it or anything else, then we're not putting our best foot forward. So.
Front row right, Austin.
Ryan, you referenced a couple times mistakes and things that you weren't happy about. I know coaches are never satisfied. I mean, are there things about the offense that you are actually legitimately concerned about at this point? Just averaging 64 points a game. What is it that
don't think there's any one thing. I think it's just when you watch the film, our execution level's gotta be high every play. It's gotta be what we call 4 to 6 A to B, which is relentless effort every play. It can't just be, on, 4 out of 5 plays. And, if we're very, very critical of ourselves, then we have a chance to be, as good as we wanna be. But as you're going along, sometimes the defense gives you looks. Sometimes, guys who haven't played a lot of football, are put into situations where they haven't experienced that before. So what happens usually the first time that happens, they fail, and then they learn from it. And what makes good players great is when they do make a mistake, they can learn from it and it doesn't happen again. And we still have a lot of, first-time guys on the team, so they're learning as it goes.
A couple of those guys are on the offensive line, if you shuffle that a bit, how have you all evaluated that for 2 games?
Overall, it's been solid. I think, the move that Mike's made in a short period of time is done a nice job of that. Communication's getting better and better. We're gonna go into, hostile environment now, on the road, so the communication's gonna be at an all-time high. So that'll be a big test for all of us on offense, is that, now it's gonna be loud and it's not gonna be, at home where it's nice and quiet. We're gonna have to go into that environment, go win a game, so, we're gonna be tested.
Front row left, Doug?
How Dwayne in the read game, in the run game, we hasn't really kept it. Is he making reads there, or is that pretty much a straight handoff?
There are some plays where he reads the defensive end. There's some plays where he'll read the linebacker. Then there's some plays where he'll actually read the safety based on the play. But typically we're having him read somebody on most of the run plays.
And if the read, how often is the read that he keeps it, or then is he gonna throw it as his read if he doesn't put it off?
It depends on what the defense gives us, really. If that guy's being aggressive, then there's a chance he can pull it. If they're playing a little bit softer, then it's more of a handoff.
Okay. I've had Twitter fights with people. I think it seems like Tate's been in the 5th series both games so far. So I think no matter who you're playing, Tate Martell is the 5th series, and it gives defensive coordinators something to think about during the week. Some people on Twitter think that in big games, if it's close, he's not going to get in. Who's right? Is he going to play against TCU no matter what?
You shouldn't be getting into Twitter fights.
Is the 5th series the Tate series?
No. It's kind of based on, again, what we're seeing in the flow of the game.
Front row right, Tim?
Yeah, with that in mind, what did you get out of Tate more than anything else? You watched his video from Saturday, Brian. Where did you see improvement?
Throwing the ball, I thought he was accurate. 10 for 10. Missed that one throw that got called back on holding. But other than that, he was accurate with the ball, made good decisions. Didn't put the ball in harm's way. They do a little better job with ball security. But other than that, ran the offense well, managed the offense. We got down in the red zone. The route was not there. Instead of forcing the throw, he kind of scrambles and we get a field goal out of it. That's managing the game, and that's important to do. Can't force the action, and he didn't do that. But that was good. And then obviously coming back from taking that shot showed a lot of heart.
That was a touche moment when he ran the long touchdown, so he did fight that. When you look at TCU defensively, where are the Horned Frogs a step up from what you've seen the first 2 weeks? If you could,
Yep. First of all, a veteran group of guys who have played a lot of football at a high level. These guys are, top 20 defense in the country last year. They play against some, high octane offenses. So they've been up against it. So, they're battle tested. Their coach is obviously battle tested. One of the best coaches in the last 20 years of college football, especially on defense in terms of what they've done. Have quick adjustments. If you get them with something, you're not going to get them twice. They do a great job of that. They fly around. Their team speed is excellent. The back end, front end, they're constantly running to the ball fast and play with an edge. So that's the challenge.
and your punt return situation, how would you describe it right now? We're interchanging DeMario and CJ. What have you gotten out of the first 2 games? Are you concerned about some of the things you've seen out there? Just what's your general take on that?
It's always good to have 2 weapons like that. DeMario has the one for 26 yards the first week, and then CJ's makes a bunch of guys miss last week. So still getting those guys the reps. They haven't done a lot of it, so the more reps we can get on film, the more opportunities they have. But they're both dynamic in different ways. So we think of it more of a benefit is that you have 2 guys that you can put back there who can make a play.
Hey, Kevin, one last thing. Does it help in your mind taking a team somewhere where came, I mean, back to a stadium where it's played and had success. What does that do for this team as opposed to just going on a pure road trip to Ammon Carter Stadium?
Yeah, I think there's obviously some familiarity, just that we were there, we practiced a bunch, I don't know how many months ago it was, but not long ago. And so a lot of the guys on the team, know that stadium, so that is good. But a lot of guys on the team don't. Some of the freshmen who are coming in, and at the end of the day, it just comes down to going to play. And it's obviously a beautiful stadium, and they'll have a great crowd, so it'll be a hostile environment.
Front row right, they're up.
You have 2 games under your belt now. I'm just curious how much more comfortable you felt Saturday than the first week, and what have you found easier, more difficult about that role, interim stand-in, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, anytime you're doing something new for the first time, there's a learning curve there. You're doing things for the first time. Some things you do well, sometimes other things you don't do so well. And you just try to regroup at the end of the day and try to figure out how you're going to get better the next time you do it. So anytime you do something, for a second time, you feel a little bit more comfortable in that role. And so, it's been a huge learning experience for me, just going through it on a day-to-day basis. But one more week here, and then kind of back to normal.
Specifics, what was a little more challenging and what kind of came more natural?
I just think that there's so much that goes into the game day, talking to the team or getting ready, and then also having the offense in the back of your mind, the quarterbacks, just a full plate there, and just trying to prioritize your time.
As you go forward, your role, how is that going to change a little bit? Are you just going to be able to focus on play calling, or I assume you did it all or are doing it all the last 2 weeks?
No, I mean, it's just, obviously, now that coach is back, obviously, it's less on my plate. The coaches running the team and doing everything. He just wasn't there on Saturday, so that was good. That was great.
Folks, unfortunately, we gotta wrap it up. Last question's right here. Matt, over the far left.
Obviously dovetailing off what Rob was asking, this has obviously been a unique experience for you coaching the first 2 games. I'm just wondering, kind of like Ari was asking you earlier, this is a high-level opponent. Do you feel any different this week? Is it just business as usual, or knowing that this is a big game on the road, do you feel any different as you prepare?
No, I don't. I mean, if you don't think it's a big game, try losing it. And so they're all big, and you got to play hard every game. You got to be ready. You got to be prepared. You got to do a great job. And that's just one of the things when you come to Ohio State or you play at the highest level of college football. You got to bring your A game every week, and so that's not any different this week.